So here is my final synchronous lesson. Since I don't have a class currently, my nephew Kyle is being my student tonight. His mic is not working at the moment, so he'll be typing. So you can see that over on the side. If I did have an actual class, this would be an actual Minecraft server, so they would all be standing here with me. It's not a server yet, but this is the world that I plan to drop into a server in the future when I'm able to. For this lesson, this is the town that my students would be using for the semester. It would be like their little internet hangout and a place that we would come for all kinds of different lessons throughout the semester. This lesson would be the first lesson that they have inside this world after the basic introduction to building and destroying in Minecraft. I want my students to work together to build this town into what they would like it to be, but it would still be functional for different lessons like scavenger hunts and virtual field trips and all kinds of things. My students are English language learners in a Japanese high school, so there will probably be signs in both English and Japanese throughout the town, but mostly English so that they would have more real-life application for what they're learning. So in this lesson, we would all meet up right here, and then we would start with a tour of the town. And this over here is the library, which I built to get them started so they can see how I want them to build. I want them to actually make this look real and functional. So here's the library, and then we can go up the stairs here, and even more books, and there's little tables for them to like crowd around. If they were writing a paper, they could pretend like they're in here actually getting their research when they'd actually probably be getting it from the internet. But it'd be fun to have a place to meet since they could be all over the country. And the next building that we have to explore over here are the dorms. In here, all of the students would be able to select their own room, and during this lesson I would set them loose to go pick whichever room they want, and they could take a little bit of time to decorate it however they want. When they pick their room, they need to throw a sign on the door, and they would put their name on it so that now we know that's their room. So far, all of the rooms are bare. They only have a bed in them, so they could come in here and they could tear out the carpet and put whatever color they want. If they wanted a window, they could add the window. The only restrictions that I would have for them is please don't break the building, please don't tear out the ceiling or anything, and if you want to change your wall, you do share it with your neighbor, so please make sure your neighbor's okay with that wall color as well. But otherwise, this is your room to put up pictures on the wall. You could drop random items in here, you could plant flowers in here if you really wanted to. But yeah, the students would have a moment to make the room their own. Take that off since nobody's going to be called your name. There are also 3 big common rooms in here. This one's empty. I would leave this one up to the students what they want to do with it. It could be made into like a common living area, or if they wanted to, they could build a makeshift TV out of blocks and couches. They could do whatever they want with this room. The same with this one over here. It could be whatever they want it to be. This room down here, way down here, would be kind of like a little makeshift home ec room, although they could really turn this into whatever they want. There's furnaces and tables and chests for them to store items in, and there's a jukebox so they could change the lovely Minecraft soundtrack whenever they feel like it. So this would be just their place to have fun and have their own little corner in this town. So after they get done customizing everything for a little bit, we would go back out here, and we would take a tour of the rest of the town, which is really the important part of the rest of this lesson. The town is not complete yet. What I would have students do for the rest of this lesson is we would go around here, and I've mapped out little plots of land where I would like the students to break up into groups and build, start adding to our town. This one is designed to be a park. The group of students that gets this area would have 1 week to design and build a park. It can be full of water, it can be full of flowers, they can drop some animals in here, they can put a fence around it, they can do pretty much whatever they want with it. Over here, I've plotted out something for the students' choice, so they can decide whatever type of building they want to put in this area. The whole class would have to come to a majority rules on what would go here. It could be like a police building or a fire station. It could be an arcade. It could be really whatever they decide they want to build. So this is going to be their town as well. And over here, I've got a plot for a grocery store. So one group of students would do this. And over here, we've got a plot for a pool. And as the semester goes on, there would be more plots put out and more buildings that would go up to go along with any lessons that we have throughout the semester. Any specific units that would need a specific building, we'll take some time and build them, or I could build it if there's not enough time for the students to do it themselves. But this will be a good way for them to practice communicating with each other and become more of a community rather than just a bunch of kids in a class together. It also promotes digital citizenship because they've got to be responsible for how they treat other people's builds in here. If somebody spent hours building something and somebody else just came over and poked a whole bunch of holes in it, that's not going to be okay. There are some modifications I can make to a server to make it where only certain people are allowed to build at certain times, which I hope that I would never have to do, but it could be done if the need came up. But I think overall the students would enjoy this enough that they wouldn't damage anybody else's builds. If they did, they'd probably, they'd probably learn from it the first time and not do it again. But the mods are in place, so that if it does keep happening, that would happen. There's also a whitelist option for a server, so nobody but my students would be able to get into this. So we don't have to worry about a random internet troll coming in and destroying our town. Yeah. This lesson itself would take probably an hour, hour and a half, letting them explore and customize their dorm room and then coming out for the tour. But they would have 1 week to design and build what they want to have these different areas look like. And that is what I have for this lesson. Any questions? Alright, well, thank you for going through the lesson with me.